I would like to invite you all to come and watch me weld this spin you around, this polyurethane bumper. So polyurethane is a different type of plastic. It can't be welded using traditional methods. It has to be welded using an airless welding. So you can't use a hot air welder like this. If you want some information on this machine, I'm quite happy to do that. Just put in the comments. Good morning. You need to use an airless welder and a specific ribbon, a TPU, a polyurethane welding rod. So what I've done now is I've actually just done a little bit of strengthening at the back here and put some tape on there just to hold it together. This had a lot of flex in it and it was being pulled apart, and that's because the previous fellow didn't repair it properly. And well, look, you know, just go down to one of my posts and my last post and you'll see it. So what I'm going to do now is weld this up. If you have a look, I've created a really rough keyed area here, and I used, sorry, I don't know what, I used my Kovacs belt sander with a 40 grit belt on there, so it provides a really rough key. And I've also, because there's quite a lot of tension in this area, I don't normally do that with a polyurethane, but I have drilled some holes in. Some of these were actually previous holes that were here from whoever repaired it before and tried to screw it together, which of course it wouldn't work. Again, look at my previous post. But this time I am going to weld it properly using an airless welder. I've created a bit of a channel down the center. I've drilled these little holes out, but I've created a bit of a channel there just to strengthen it all up so it should all hold nicely. Right. So the welder I'm using is the Polyvance 8203 nitrofuser. It's a nitrogen welder, but like I said, we're not using the hot air. I might use it just to help me with the melting of the ribbon, but majority of the work is going to be done with the airless welder. So I will put you onto the tripod where you can hopefully see everything as I'm doing it. I will come and answer any questions afterwards, okay? Because I can't do this and answer the questions at the same time. Right. I'm going to just take my mask off because I don't need that. It's a dusk mask. So the way this tool works, got a bit of a melt there, is the ribbon gets fed through the actual nozzle, the tip here, gets heated up, and then it goes into the groove. It's a bit like using a glue gun, really. You can see, hold on, as it comes through, it's going to melt. So you want it to flow nicely. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to up. It's always a bit difficult. Let's go this way. It's always a little bit tricky when you're on film. There's no fine editing. So here we go. So I'm just going to smooth that into along the crack. You want to try and keep it flowing. I can hear it bubbling, but you don't want to burn it. So I'm literally feeding this ribbon through and filling that crack. I'll go over it a few times, and because I left a really coarse finish on here, this TPU ribbon, this polyurethane ribbon, is actually adhering to that. That's no good. Let's get rid of that bit. A bit of a lump in there. I will come and answer any questions, so please put them in the comments. And after I've done this, I will come back and answer any questions. If there's anything you want to see in more detail, I'm quite happy to show you that. So now I'm actually coming over where I've created the holes. And again, I will do this on the other side, so it will bond together. It's almost like stitching it with regards to these holes. But as I said, I don't normally have to do that. But because this has been repaired previously by someone and so poorly, I'm having to do it a slightly different way now. When I do this on film, I speed it up a bit on a time lapse, so then it looks it's a lot more enjoyable to watch. Right now it's a bit like watching paint dry. And you can see, if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a link in my bio, you can see all of this done. A little bit more tutorial on it, and me talk over it and at a faster speed, but it gives you a better eye. This is the only way to weld, hot weld, a polyurethane bumper, although we're airless welding it. There are some great products out there that you can cold weld with it or chemical weld it, but you know, I prefer this way. This has always been really good for me. There's no risk of sink back, no risk of any poor adhesion. Right, I'm almost there, and then I'll take you off the tripod and bring you in to show you what I've done so far and answer any questions that you may have. And then we'll peel the aluminium foil tape on the back there off, and we'll see how well it's held. That's going to be the moment of truth. If it comes apart, then I'm really bad at my job, but I don't think it will. I got faith in myself anyway. Crikey, it can't be as bad as the previous repairer who used filler board and or filler spreader and fiberglass and screws. Definitely not. All right, so let's just show you what I've done. So it's just going to cool down, and it's, you know, it's a clear product, so you can't really see it. But when it comes to sanding it, when I've let this cool down, I'll sand that back with, I will go in first with some 80, actually probably going to be 60, and then work my way up to sort of 240, 220. So we just let that cool down, and then I can peel it off, peel the foil tape off the back there, and we'll see how it's held. Right, I'm just going to scroll through, see if there's any questions. Don't forget, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to answer them. Ask them. If it's about the equipment I'm using or in any more detail, please feel free to ask them. Surprised to say, yeah. No, no questions, just a couple of chit chats between you all. And hello, a lot of thumbs up and hellos. I saw your post on this repair. Right, have a great and successful work. Oh, that's it. So I'm guessing I probably covered that fairly well. And it's still cooling down. We're almost there. It's not too bad. I think I can risk. It's cooling down. I can risk peeling this off. And you can see I did start on the back here. I just put a really thin bit just along the crack itself, just to hold it together for when I was actually doing the weld on the front. But now that's held it in place. I'm just going to finish it off, give it a little bit more of some welding ribbons along there and on the back side, and that will just need to be sanded and smoothed off, and that's the repair done. So please, if you are wondering what I'm doing here or why I'm fixing this, have a look at my post that's before this one, and you'll see what a mess it was. I mean, I don't know how a repairer can do that, and I was a little pissed off at seeing it. So yeah, I probably expressed that actually in my post. So there we go. I will save this for you guys to watch back, but there's loads. I've got 2 or 3 videos like this on my YouTube channel that are a little bit slower and probably more helpful if you want to learn how to do it. Quick recap, you repair that and the owner will drive into a gutter later. Well, they might do, but at least I know I've repaired it properly compared to how it was repaired before. I'm just trying to look. So they had repaired it with fiberglass, which doesn't work, with screws. I'm trying to just find the screws. I don't know where they are. They repaired it with screws. They'd repaired it with a filler spreader. Yeah, absolutely shocking job. So right, I think that's pretty much it. We've got it all covered. I'll just go through the machine again if you're interested in that. So this is the Polyvance 8203 nitro fuser. On this side is for my nitrogen welder. So this is what I would use to weld most of the plastics, well, pretty much every plastic apart from polyurethane, and you can adjust the heat that's coming out there. And that comes out to this wand. And there's a little bit of, I don't know if you can hear, but there's a little bit of air blowing out through there. And then this side is the airless welder. You can adjust your airflow as well to the wand. And normally I'm working at around sort of 12.5 litres per minute. And then that's the airless welder, it all comes in the unit. At the back of the unit is where the nitrogen cell is that converts air. Now the reason for welding with nitrogen, if you're going to repair PP or PE or any of those other ABS, any of those other common plastics, is because nitrogen doesn't burn the plastic. You don't have any smoke on it or anything like that when you're welding it. It's a nice clean weld, which means, yeah, it's PUR by the way, not POV, which means that you're not getting any imperfections in there or any little sort of blister bubbles or anything like that. That's my phone pinging away. So that's the advantage of using nitrogen. If you don't have nitrogen, you can obviously use that. Imanian Civeg, I hope I got that correct. It's a Mercedes. It's a Mercedes CL500 from bumper, and they're commonly made out of this polyurethane plastic. All right, guys. So I am now going to finish this off, sand it back. So to sand that, I will use, this is my little repair center. So I will use some, I think these are around sort of 60 grit discs. And they're on a 50mm DA. This is the Chicago pneumatic. It's a nice little machine, that one. That's perfect for knocking down the first bit that we need to do. And then I'll go in and use the 75mm. And I like these trigger DA sanders for this job because I don't actually have a good enough reason. I just feel that they fit better in my hand, and I'm able to sand a lot easier with them when I'm sanding these cracked repairs. So yeah, there we go. That's that. There's, this is also an airless welder actually. This is their mini kit, and you can weld polyurethane, PP, so polyurethane, PUR, polyurethane with this because it's got the airless welder, but you can also do all the other plastics like PP, PPE, EM, ABS. It's a really good kit. If you're trying to get into the business and you want to do some plastic welding and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is a great kit. Absolutely love this kit. You wouldn't go wrong with that. So that's the Mini Weld 7, Model 7 from Polyvance. If you're in the UK, don't forget we run on 240 volts. So if you're going to order it, make sure you order a 240 volt and not 110. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, that's it. I'm going to get on with this. Thank you very much for all joining in. I'm just making sure there's no... How much does that welder cost and what country is it manufactured in? So the large welder, let's just spin this around, that large welder there, and you can buy loads of these ribbons. You can see I've got so many different types of plastic here, but they do these really good boxes which come already labeled up with different ribbons and sizes and shapes. So you can buy, I won't put that away now. You can buy that from Polyvance. The best place to find out the price and your local distributor is to contact Polyvance themselves. And that's here we go. Let's show you that, just in case you haven't seen it. I will put them in the comments. That's Polyvance. They're the guys who sell it. Right, so that's that question. That was a great question. Thank you very much. Last week I did one of these like this. Brilliant. I'd tag me in if you made a video on it or did the repair that I can watch it. Tag me in that. I'd love to see it. That's it. We're good to go. Thank you very much. I'm going to have some lunch and finish this weld off. Bye, guys.